Hey everybody, Windrake Hex here doing a live commentary. It's been a really long time since I've made a video. I don't know if anybody's noticed. I have. But this video is pretty much going to focus around basic limited ideas for newer players and stuff. So let's jump right in. Let's look at our rare. Might makes right. Actually, a pretty sweet card. It takes a board presence and a favorable board presence to make it work. It's definitely win more. You have to kind of be ahead for this game, for this card to really just take over. But it can break stalls and stuff. It's decent. Not saying I really like this card too, and a few different strategies. Mainly the go wide, pump everything. Definitely not strong enough for a first pick, but I'm probably just gonna take it and probably play it if I'm in Ruby. Ruby's like super open, so we could just make a curve and try to punish all the complex decks out there, like your Goots and your Mill and your Transform. Just play troops and tricks and a bunch of removal. It's probably going to float around like rain and be happy. So this is a really great card in Goot. It's a really good card in uh, Diamond, period. It is removal. You do want to prioritize removal if you're new. Every game of limited basically is going to revolve around your opponent playing something you can't deal with, and if you can deal with it, yeah, if you can deal with his threats more than your opponent can yours, you typically win the game. So removal is very good. I don't know if I want to jump into Diamond without having some of the key Goot cards. This is a good card on its own. Is it better than straight up removal with a bonus? Probably not. If we're doing transform, maybe we could play. Oh, dang it. Alright. So I didn't mean to pick that, but maybe we'll just go for transform because probably would have taken the removal. I meant to right click instead of left click, but it is what it is. So we got some mill cards here. This card's a pretty good threat on its own, and it mills. I notice it's better to just go full mill and just not attack ever and bonus off this guy. There's a lot of removal in the set that can deal with that card. So just kind of sitting back and saving up your instant speed mill tricks and getting a bonus is kind of nice. This card's really good for removal. I'm probably just gonna. No, I don't want to take a bad or a subpar. All right, I'm gonna take the removal and see where we land. The alternative was just to like be like, cool, I got the Dryad, might as well go transform, but I don't think we're there yet. Seeing this in a pack means we might be able to backdoor into like a Goot type strategy, but Runic Decay is life gain and just hoses some decks. It normally always has a target. Let's see what this guy does. Yeah, it's a escalate tribal, more of a constructed concept. This card's pretty cool on a splash in a lot of decks. This card's a total beater, really undervalued, but we're just gonna go on the removal train because it's there. I feel like we're just gonna end up in Ruby anyway because nobody drafts it. But two Runic Decays, pick 2 and 3 or 4. It's pretty good. It's definitely a great card. I would love to play Goot if I can. Looks like maybe I can. Interesting question. Ebonheart's really good in a Goot deck. Getting that life gain on a huge body, even playing it on one, trading, gaining some health is often pretty good. I'm a big fan of this card as well, just because it stabilizes so well. I don't know if either one of these should really put me into Diamond, but it's kind of looking like that's probably open. If I am gonna go, well, this is gonna be an interesting pick. Yeah, so I picked this guy mainly because there's a lot of strategies that balance the scales get in. If I do somehow get like a Twilight, which is like the constant that just blows everybody out of the water, then I'm probably um, gonna be happy I have that card versus jumping into Diamond, which I'm not quite sure is where I want to be. I could grab a second one, but that's a little heavy, not even knowing that we're in that deck. So I'm mainly looking at. I really want to get into Constants now because this is kind of a theme, but it takes a lot of Diamond if you don't have the Twilight, and nobody passes Twilight. It's like, oops, I win. I'm tempted to take a Mill card here because Mill's fun, and that's a pretty good one. It's also a sign that Mill's open, and it works well with my two blood cards that I've already. Like, you want this to bring back the things with sockets and stuff. This is a really good Constants Matter. 4 4 for 4 is really good in this set. Though, power wise, Runic Hatchling's very good. I could also just go into flyer mode, transform, because I have the Dryad, but that would take kind of forgetting all these cards, and I'm not seeing the. I mean, the best card in the pack is Firepower. I don't know what Ruby Blood is. I haven't really seen it played. There's a few uncommons that are okay, but you know what? I don't know where I'm at, so I'm just gonna take the best card. All right, so we're getting some mill stuff. Yeah, two of those passings a pretty big signal. I think maybe I should be going into. Could always end up Ruby Sapphire. Just play a bunch of stuff that kills stuff. This card's a little too weak to pick for the mill plan or to think that mill's open. So anyway, we got some stuff. Could play a runic deck. I have not really seen that deck work, but there's some. Yeah, there's some cards maybe that can make it work. I don't know. Kind of all over the place. It doesn't seem like anyone's sending us two great signals. Um, so probably gonna want to play Blood just because of two runic decays. This card's totally fine. It can win you combat. It also kills a lot of stuff. So that's nice. Sideboard card. I don't like this one. It's probably my least favorite. So it has the least amount of impact, I think. Alright, I'll just take a Taint. Kind of keep our options open. We can go Mill, or we could just go. If Ruby is pretty open. Not, a lot of these, well, you can go Spells Matter. Kind of synergizes well with this. It's really kind of a weak card. I like this card better. I have no idea where we're at. Nobody wants to pass an archetype. So it could be everybody at this draft is trying to keep their options open by just hedging, and nobody's sending any good signals. So normally, what that means, it means pack 3 is going to be just crazy and unpredictable. If you want good cards, send clear signals. It's kind of how it works, but that almost never happens. Alright, so are we like the Might Makes Right big stuff deck with some removal? I guess so. This card, not a lot of artifacts. This card is just too underwhelming. We'll just play a card on curve. It's fine. Okay. It's feeling a little train wrecky. Not a very great pack one. No clear signals. Alright, so if we go, we may want. Yeah, it's not really a card. Yeah, I'll just take a Shrink. Who knows? So no archetypes are open. That's fun. I'm tempted to just take this guy because I'm probably gonna need to splash something, seeing how pack one was so bad. I'll play Melchi. I'm probably still on the blood plan. It's a fine card. Normally always trades up. None of these cards I'm that excited about, so I guess I'll take another Balance the Scales just in case pack 2 opens up Constants. Pack 3 is probably going to be bad for Constants because we didn't really see it open, but some of the cards are wheeling, so alright. We'll probably end up playing Constants of some kind, which is kind of crappy because, well, it depends on what we open, but not the best place to be. That's a good fixer. I like that card. I might want to splash Firepower or something. Can't splash this guy because of the double. It's just too hard to cast. So, yeah. Not particularly thrilled about this pack one. Um, okay, so this might push us in the diamond. I don't expect a whole lot of diamond to be open. I don't really want to jump in the diamond just because of that guy. He's pretty good, but he's a 3/3 for 4. The troop does get invincible, but it's never really that big of a threat at the stage of the game when this guy comes out, unless it's some like build around card. Whereas this guy, on the other hand, is very good. Violet's Attendant, super sweet. We could still maybe even go mill. Just put the mill gem on him and kind of go off. Though I don't think we have the critical mass in mill. Mill could be open. We'll go Constance or mill or something. Feeling okay about that pick. So speaking of mill, here's a mill card. We can play mill again. It's probably open. Um, it's a little better. If we want to go runic, I feel like Sapphire has sailed a bit. I don't even think that deck's really good. And getting back one runic, I guess, is really good with runic decay against certain decks, but alright, this troop, I don't know, it trades up a lot, so even if we don't end up mill, which we probably are, it's probably has the highest chance of being open out of the major 4 archetypes. Another runic decay, so we're just gonna like, here's where I can't guarantee that this is gonna will. Nameless Orator. Runic Decay is great. I don't know. It does have bad matchup, so it's not necessarily win you the game. So now that since I already have 2, I'm gonna start trying to lean towards an actual archetype. So we're gonna pick the mill guy. We got 2 of them. That's pretty much it. It's not. Wouldn't call this a mill deck yet, but we have. This is a big mill bomb. That's pretty milly. So I guess we're mill. All right. Can live with that. So Runic doesn't really get the job done. Alright, that's a pretty huge signal, but I think it's a little too late to go jump into Wild. It's not necessarily a bomb. It's pretty good in any deck, but I mean, these 2 guys, big signals. It's going to sound. I think this guy's going to wheel. That is a good way to finish a game. It's probably more on strategy than a Frost Rock. I know it sounds crazy, but playing a 7-drop, but you want to give this guy the mill gem, clearly, and just mill a bunch of cards. So that's what we're going to do. It looks like we're going to get some stall and stuff. Shrink's probably going to wheel. So we're not out of the woods, but we're not lost. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty lost. Maybe I'll take a Runic Snatcher just to play with the get more decays out. I would have loved like a mill card. Card draw's okay. You're really under the gun in mill, so like it's a little too slow. There's not really defensive stabilizers. I guess like a card like this is my card that's supposed to stall out on 4 when things get really scary. 2 of these probably would have been better off going transform. 2 of these guys and all the ruby or wild we can eat sounds pretty good, but whatever. Also consider taking the land too. Would have been pretty good. Oh, transform is so open. Oh, punished. All right, so that's the deck we should have been. No problem though. We got good removal. Need it in mill. Fail out of removal. Mill's pretty good. This is a pretty late signal. This card's great, but clearly this going like pick 8 and all the other cards we've seen, that would have been. It's way too late to shift because we're pretty much on the blood plan. Start consolidating here. Try to get. I don't know if there's anything that transforms to trigger that. You really need most of your slots to mill something for mill to work. It's not like super pushed. It looks like it at first glance, but there's just not a lot of. Your opponent having the choice to mill with their champion power really makes a huge difference. So we're going to want to kind of control the game and win with these guys, it looks like, and maybe finish with a Guardian of Nulzan. I played mill last draft. I'm not super stoked to play it again, but it's like every game you got to play. You're like on the razor's edge, man. It's a really hard deck for me to play, but this card will. I like that this just buries one a turn. That's pretty relevant. Getting back a troop's pretty cool. It does. Um, well, because it mills you, you can always, mill cards you want. But it's that or a shrink, which I think we can get the other shrink that's swinging around. This card's fine too, but this card's cool in the early game to trade and get some selection. But Ghastly Exchange's been pretty good. It's okay. It's an okay mill card. For the sideboard, that's pretty good, but I like these guys as stabilizers, so probably not going to be able to attack with them, but we're not really looking to attack in a mill deck. I just need anything to just sit there and not die. Cool thing about mill is it's got a good game against Goot, but I don't think Goot's being played. We could also probably splash a Twilight if we get it pack 3. Uh, we don't really have these guys are constants. I don't know. I guess we might be able to attack it every once in a while. This is a constant, right? Okay, good. Anyway, that's a very secondary win con, maybe third. Alright, so we're going to pick this guy because he can mill for 2 and stall up the air sometimes. If we were like on the 4 Runic Decay plan, I might pick up a second one of these guys, but we're not. I think 1 is probably too many. It doesn't necessarily help, but it could. So happy just to mill 2 and get a threat in the air. Alright, this is cool. Helps further on. Get some constants down so we can maybe attack with these guys. Gives us another mill con. Or win con, I'm sorry, with pinging the damage when it dies, and it pretty much trades with everything, so it's a cool card. Yeah, there's the other shrink. I like this. Call to the grave, play this guy, attack with him. Opponent normally chumps, or you trade it happily. Bring it back, mill for another 6. But we already have 2, and we don't need it to be that fast. I mean, this has more synergy in our deck. We definitely want to bring stuff back. You want to bring your sockets back if you can. That's a big strategy in mill I found. So you really want the 5/1. Give him the mill gem and just go off. Mill like 10 cards with them, and then have it trade with your opponent's good troop, and that's a pretty big gain. We'll take a Hextricator in case we want to splash a bomb or something that doesn't exist at this time. 2 would be cool, but like I said, we don't have the bomb that we want to splash for, so we'll take the on-curve card. Feeling better about that Melchior. That's a huge... Oh, yep. Alright. So we have all the shrinks. That's actually a really big deal in mill, because we don't really have fast mill. We have like incidental control the game mill with these guys and this guy, so being able to shrink stuff is pretty good. We might actually run 4. Well, I'm glad there's not a great mill card, because it gives me an excuse to take Twilight. Even though we probably shouldn't play it, it's not horrible. How many things make constants? We have 1 actual constant, and then 1 thing that makes a constant. And we have a whole pack to maybe build around this card a little bit. We have all the fixing we need for it, because it doesn't have to come down on 4 in this deck, so we only need that fix 2 shards. Means we probably have to play 18 shards, which kind of sucks, but anyway, no big deal. If this is going really fast for some of you that are like brand new, it's hard just because I'm trying to explain picks, but if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. A lot of this stuff is, I don't know if it's advanced, it's just second nature once you've drafted a bunch of times. You want to basically be thinking about your deck as you're making your picks. It's not just what's the best card every pick, it's the best card for my deck. This isn't the best card for my deck, but it's a huge win con, and it's better. This would be a good stabilizer and a threat, but like I said, nobody passes that card. I don't have any Deathcry troops, or do I? I have 1. I don't know if it's worth a splash though. This card is just so broken in Deathcry. It's so broken. It will win the game, hands down, no problem. I'm not seeing any mill. This card, I wouldn't really consider mill. Now that we got a Twilight, I'll probably take another Duskheed. Like I said, we're on the real slow mill plan, so... And since, yeah, we're probably going to splash Twilight, so... I think our curve's a little high. So... Well, this helps. This helps. Oh my god, 2 Twilights? Alright, that's gross. This might actually make me change strategies. I can see myself getting in trouble trying to make this work when I shouldn't. Twilight does just win you the game, so we already have a Twilight deck without the ruby or without the diamond, which is kind of funny. So yeah, okay, I'll take two. We might actually just ditch all our diamond or all of our sapphire. I don't think that was smart actually, but I can't pass that card. So we are now how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're about 16 deep. Runic Decay, third one. This will probably will. Oh, another one of these? Jesus. What's happening? This doesn't always kill what you want, whereas this is gains you life, which is a big deal. And it plays nice with Twilight for a couple turns. Okay, sure. We'll play three. This deck is so weird. So, question is, can we play two of these in a mill deck? Diamond's not going to come out of nowhere. Someone's probably playing Fate Weave or something. Um, Very interesting decisions we have. Oh wait, this card is better. Good. I'm glad it wasn't another. It's Dark of Night. That's way better. Oh my god. All right, we're in business. That kills anything and makes a constant. So we have a lot of incidental constant gain, which is super sweet. Here's a question: do we just play one of you now and just kind of ditch Mill because we have the deck now? We have the stall, and we have. All right, so pack three broke pretty nice for me. Potentially. What's the opportunity cost? This will probably will, and we'll probably play it. That will. Well, I don't know if that will. We already have two of these. Yeah, let's do it. We could still play this guy. It's fine. 4 power. What does our deck look like if we're not mill? I don't think it's that great. We have so much removal though. Good God. I'm not gonna play these shrinks. Our mill plan's not bad. I'm actually thinking about maybe just splashing these twilights and realizing that they'll win me the game now with how my deck's constructed. Because I'm gonna take an execute. Yeah. Woo, what do you do? Well, you're good in pretty much any deck. This would be the better pick for if we knew we were gonna be. Oh God, we could totally play Goot because we got one of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This could even wheel, though I doubt it. Ooh, we have a good Goot deck now. All right, I'm going for it because we have so much removal. It's just disgusting. Oh my God! All right, I should have talked about that pick, but two of these guys with the gem of the toughness, being able to bring stuff back just kind of forever with these guys. It's very late game, but yeah, we got a good Goot deck. All right, so Sapphire is no longer needed. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, we got lucky. We got lucky. I'd rather not splash these Twilights. I'd rather just play the Goot, get the health, and know that we have two of these, which is very exciting. It's not like stellar, but it's certainly not bad. Curve's a little high. We won't be playing this card because we don't want it to mill a Twilight. Yep, alright. We got a 2-drop. Probably get a constant or two. Um, Card draw's good with or card selection with these ices. I think we're just gonna want to not die, but I think we're gonna be able to do that with 2 decays. This removal, sweet. Our curve sucks. Stabilize with these guys. Maybe catch up with these guys, and then have a really powerful late game. Alright, so we need to prioritize early game stuff. There we go. doesn't really have synergy. We're playing these mainly as bears, just a 2/2 for 2. Um, I don't see anything that's going to trigger it. I don't want to give these guys Fate Weave, though it's not a bad idea. And then, how many executes? I think I would rather know that I can reliably have a 4 power for 4 thing on 4 than a third execute, right? Because execute can miss, so I'm into it. A 4/4 for 4 is good in this set, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, there's our 23. Don't probably have to play this card anymore, and because I have 2 Twilights, I'm less concerned about card draw, so. But we're more likely to play that out of the board if we think we can get away with it. And then this can be our Fate Weave 3-drop, so we need to make 1 cut. Probably going to be Taint, and that's our deck. Cool. Well, hopefully you guys learned something. That was kind of as predicted. The pack 3 was going to be nuts because there was no clear archetype open in 1, which meant everybody was just scrambling. So, do I play 4 of these? It's going to be some pretty funky. Like, we basically have like all the 4-drops. So we can. Which means I should probably play 18 shards, but I don't know. So we'll talk about that in a second. Let's try to make this deck. See what happens. Kind of want like 5 Killblades now. Because our late game is so great, we just got to get to it. So let's start from the top. That's a better way to kind of talk about stuff in more detail. So let's sort by cost. So Vesper's great. It comes down. It synergizes with our champion. We do have incidental ways to play constants, and we do have constants ourselves. So it's not. It doesn't have to. It becomes a threat quickly, just kind of incidentally, and if it trades with anything that costs more than 1, you're pretty happy. Especially because really in Goot, you're just trying to stay alive long enough to win with Twilight. That's a proper Goot deck in my opinion. We're going to hold off and see how many balance scales we want until we've built the deck. The reason being, it has a setup cost, and we need to make sure we don't die first. So a way to not die is have stuff early that trades or stalls the board, and so that's good. We got a little bit of that. I'm playing these guys as bears mainly because, well, like I said, we need the trades. We need to preserve our life total, basically. So we need to trade with proactive 2-drops and 3-drops that are floating around in the set. I'd actually love to play 3 Shrinks. They're not powerful enough to splash, but. So this guy, we're actually going to give Fate Weave because on turn we need to get to 4 resources, and one way to do that is to Fate Weave. So we could probably get to 3 reliably on 17 shards, but we need that extra punch. The 4 on 4 is a little more of a stretch. So yeah, and he does synergize with these guys, so that's cool. But we're not playing these guys as. In fact, I might not even play 2 if I feel like we can get away with. I mean, basically, the more synergistic your deck is, um, the more you're gonna win. I mean, in Hex, synergy is certainly the way to go. But you still need 2-drops, especially because we're going to be sitting on the defensive most of the time with a deck like this. Maybe not though. Anyway, Dawn Steed probably doesn't need explanation, but our champ makes constants. A 3 power, 3/3 flyer for 3 is like uncommon, rare type strength. So you just don't make flyers that efficiently, and this is pretty much going to be a 3/3 for 3 every single time. It has to be, unless we're. Yeah, it has to be. It's always going to be a 3/3 for 3. So that's great. We're going to play all our removal because we need to kill all of our opponent's stuff while staying alive. So this kills everything and furthers our strategy of Nightfall. Very good. With Nightfall, which is a constant, and then Execute, which says destroy card troop with 4, is going to have a ton of targets. Maybe not the ones we want, but all the time. But a lot of the power in this, I think a lot of the power in this set is concentrated around 4. There's some good 5 drops too, but like just look at all of our cards, you know. So anyway, it's a lot better. It's a lot less conditional than it looks. So that's why it's gonna have more targets, way more targets than it's not, you know. So that's why I don't mind running 2. Um, Probably play this guy just for curve reasons. We want him to trade up or trade. He could trade down, and we'd probably take that trade because we're trying to preserve our life total, have it eat a trick or something. But anyway, um, maybe we'll cut him. We'll see. I'm gonna start with 3 of these guys. I definitely want 3. They're actually very good in this set. The drawback, of course, being they can't attack if you don't have a constant, but that's never going to be the case in our deck. So we're pretty happy about that. When I say we, I mean me. I'm the only one here. Okay, so yeah, 3 is probably the place to stop for the time being. Twilight. So for you guys who don't know that haven't run up against this card, it just wins you the game. Like by the time you play it, you might have like 1 or 2 constants out, but the fact that it does damage and gains life, like your opponent has to be so far ahead on tempo to even race this card, and you're gonna be the health gain just. I mean, plus you're playing defensive style anyway, so you're basically just trying to sit back and win with this card. It's really I'm not a huge fan that it was printed, but I'm definitely gonna play it if I can. I mean, it's a nightmare. You normally just 1 is enough to play, and with a bunch of card draw, because you know when you stick it in a defensive deck, it's gonna probably win you the game. So yeah, card's great. And we're gonna be playing with it probably for another 12 months. The way that Hex releases sets. And so, oh well. Alright, we're definitely going to play 2 of these. They further our strategy. They're a win con in of themselves for a couple reasons. One, they have 5 power, which is very good. And they make Nightfalls. Nightfalls, this guy, you don't really want to be main decking these because you have cards like that can make them themselves. So Dusky is super great. He's just a huge threat and has incidental synergy, which is really what you want to be at. I wish I would have taken that Daybreak now. The card's super sweet. Alright, so we're actually probably are going to play 4 of these, which means I'm definitely going to play these 2 drops because I need to be able to get the 4 without being like so far behind. Okay, so question. I just want to just make this to 4/6 because on 6 it just pretty much stabilizes everything and then makes a zombie that's a 2/4, which makes attacking for your opponent just miserable. And though Fate Weave does have some synergies, it wouldn't if I like if I'm trying to win off a 4/4 with a trigger on turn 7, I'm probably gonna win that game anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this guy defense. So what I'm doing basically is asking myself, when do I want to play this card, and what's its likely environment it's going to be played in when building a deck. So it's basically in a nutshell. You're thinking about your curve, but in fact, let's sort by cost so that we can actually get a little better idea. So we're not like auto 18 shards yet. We only have 2 6 drops, 2 5 drops, and a ton of 4s. And we do have enough early game with 1, 2, 3, 4 that we're probably going to have a 2 something to play on turn 2 most of the time, but it's not guaranteed. We are at 22 cards. I could just play 18 shards and feel better about life. That means not playing a 4th one of these, which I think I want to. We're pretty much guaranteed to have a 4-drop in every hand forever with this deck. I don't hate the idea of going we want to balance the scales, don't we? That might be a little too win more in this deck, but bringing back one of these guys on turn 3 or 4 as a 5/5 or something is pretty good. Could definitely win the game. Maybe I cut you because you don't really do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna play 1. You could definitely make an argument for 2, but it's not my main win con. Just bringing back a threat. It's Twilight and pinging and recursion. So the targets I really want to bring back are like Dawnsteed and Violet's Attendant. A removal count is sweet. Let's just do a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removal. Yeah, all of our spells are super proactive. It's really good. It's basically a control deck, you know. So maybe we play you. That would give us 3 2 drops. Make me feel a lot better about our starting hands. Uh, can't really count this as a reliable turn 2 play because it may not have a target and we may not have a troop out. The reason why I'm so concerned, I'm really concerned about the first 3 turns of the game because we have the late game in spades. We just need to not die. So that's probably going to make me want to cut this guy for a 2 drop. So that our starting hands have things that can trade and get us to turns 5 and 6 where we can kind of take over. Alright, so we want. What do we want? Yeah, we'll play you. The selection's certainly wanted. What this card says basically is deploy, draw a card, then discard a card. Being able to fix your draws is great. He's a good late game card too, so long as you have something to discard. So it's a reason to remember to hold up a shard. Though you never want to hold up a shard with Goot. One. Anyway, just think that's overthinking it. So, oh, he's blue though. All right. Sorry. Okay, you're back in the deck. I think I want you more. How many 3 drops do we have? 1, 2, 3. For curve reasons, I'm gonna play this guy. So like our curve is kind of like way better. Like pack 3, like hooked this up. So yeah, going up the curve, doing stuff, fixing draws, making trades, taking over the game, killing things, stabilizing, and then Twilight eclipsing our opponent right into tilt land. I like it. Okay. Um, Pop a Goot, make constants, good times. Don't be worried about his health. He gets plenty of it. Yeah, very controversial deck, but very good when it comes together. You guys can correct me, but I think this is pretty strong. We'll see. I'll record some games. All right, I think I'm going to give them the plus, mainly because I want the zombies to be relevant. Double fate weaving doesn't do you anything, and yeah, so I feel pretty good about that. Dropping a 4/6 in this style of deck is pretty good. Um, I wish we had like 6 of these because it would make us really close out games pretty quick with Deathless Agent, but we don't. Mainly because of Fate Weave. Fate Weave is probably my favorite mechanic of the set. It's probably the most underspoken, but it makes games so much smoother. I mean, it feels good picking these lands. It really does. Or these shards. So we're 74% blood, so we're going to play 9 sources. And then it is going to be a little bit of a bummer if we miss. Because our 2 drops are diamond, but we'll have to stay conscious of that. Pretty much all of our plays are diamond early plays. So you could make an argument. What happens if we don't play? We could also play a fixer. That's fine. Just have a weak. I think we're not as concerned about getting to 6 or something fast. So maybe we could probably play an extra source. Right, because this is gain a threshold of your choice. Yeah, it's just a slow land. So you don't get the charge though, which is fairly relevant. But I could also just play Hextricator. I don't want to make any cuts though. I feel like I need to play 9 sources of. Yeah, I need to play 9 sources. So we'll be out a charge and a. That's fine though. So what are we doing here? We're gonna do 8. No. Yeah, we do 7, and then we cut. No. We do 8, 9, and then we cut one. One. So we have effectively 9 sources of each, which is exactly where we want to be. Yes, it's slow, but we have health gain in this deck, so it's not like the end of the world. Alright, I'm pretty cool with this deck. Alright, if you guys have any questions about Goot, or why I did what I did, or if you think I could have done something better, please let me know. Probably post this on Reddit just because I haven't done that in a long time. And I actually don't even know if this recording worked, so that'll be step 1. But anyway, thanks for watching. I may add games, so if this video is longer than whatever it is right now, it means I added games. But anyway, be well.